Success rolls in GURPS is pretty much the lifeblood of the game. It's the main tool for resolving obstacles. It's the core mechanic of the game. So I'll give some example here and explain how to use the success roll. In the GURPS 4th edition, the success roll will be in this book. They are explained in the GURPS Basic Set 1 characters, but they are more defined in GURPS Basic Set campaign. Also, the success rolls are well described in the GURPS Lite, the free edition PDF. So everything begins with your skill or your attributes. So let's say let's create a thief who wants to pass a guard unnoticed. So we'll give him a skill in stealth of let's say he's an expert 14. So basically I roll my stealth check and I rolled a 10, so I am successful. So basically it's just that. Of course, gamers being gamers and situations varying to infinity, we can have modifier. Maybe my thief have change in his pockets, wiggling around and making noises. Maybe he have not noisy shoes, or maybe the guards is really like on caffeine, and or maybe there is some lighting around, and maybe my stealth attempt is not so easy that I thought it would be. So in GURPS you have modifiers, of course, to your to everything you can attempt, and in this case, in my stealth check, I could have a modifier for poor equipment or good equipment. I could have a little +1 if I had special elven shoes that are very noise cancelling, or very stealthy shoe, so I could have a +1, and my stealth skill would bump to 15 if I use these shoes. So let's continue this example. So I have this pair of elven shoe at +1. I'm taking notes here. So my skills is now at 15. My new score, my new modified score, is called in GURPS effective skills, and it has an important meaning that I will explain later on. So I have my basic skill level and my effective skills, which is modified by some modifiers. So let's say the task I am attempting, let's say the guard is very aware. He just received strict order to look out for thief. So maybe he's on some kind of caffeine or potion to be fully aware, or he's just really have a duty towards his master. So there is another modifier we can apply called a task difficulty. A task difficulty will encompass every little situation. It goes from giving the players a +10, which is pretty much an automatic success, and it goes to a -10, which means the action is nearly impossible. Even a master will have a difficulty to succeeding in a -10 task. So in this case, I will give myself a -2 because the guard is super aware. He was ordered to do this, so he's very proud of his job and don't want to let the master down. So now my effective skill with a -2 is 13. So you see my skill now is slightly less than my usual stealth. Another modifier is time spent. You can lower your difficulty a little bit, or by gaining a bonus if you spend more time to do what you want to do. The bonus will vary, then your game master may not even use it. For example, if you're doing a thing in haste, for 10% less time taken, you have a -1. This is from 4th edition. So let's say I will try to run past this guard. I will try to haste. So I would have a -1 for haste. And of course, this example here, I try to use every modifier I can find. So there you go. For a basic skill check or success roll, I have modified my stealth check with equipment, task difficulty, and time spent for a grand total of 12. So I started at 14, +1 for the elven shoe, -2 because the guard is very aware, and -1 for haste. When of course you are used to play GURPS, these modifiers will come and flow, and it will become second nature. So it's not you won't have to check that modifier list every time. Equipment, task difficulty, time spent. No, it will become second nature, and you will gain a sense of what a +3 mean and a -1 mean. So I will roll here. See if my attempt at passing the guard is successful. I have a 12 in effective skills. Oh, it's a fail. Okay, what I'm doing with this now, there is something called a degree of success. And degree of success in GURPS is the difference between what you roll and what your effective skill is. In this case, my effective skill is 12, and I rolled a 16, so I missed by 4 points. It's a failure by 4 points. It's more it's more of a bad roll than just failing by 1, for example. So in this case, my thief will be probably spotted by the guard. Another thing to consider, there is a critical success and critical failure in GURPS. And this one, basically, the general rule about it is any roll of 3 or 4 is a critical success. And this is always. You always have a chance to crit on a skill check. The reverse of that, the critical failure, happens on a 18 or a 17 if your effective skill is less or is 15 or less. So in this case, my skill was my effective skill was 12, so a 17 and an 18, I would have had a critical failure right here in front of the camera. Another rule concerning critical success and failure: if your margin of failure is 10 or more because of various modifiers, sometimes my 14 skill in stealth could have be lowered significantly, and if I roll 10 over this is a critical failure. For critical success, if your effective skill is 15 or more, I could have a critical success on a 5, and if my effective skill was a 16 or more, I could score a critical success on a 6. So now this is for basic success roll. There is another thing I will leave you with called contest. In the following example, I would have run it differently. You can run your task by just calling a difficulty or a bonus and roll with it and call it a success or a failure. Degrees of success, of course, tells you how much of a success or a failure it is. And critical success roll, if I roll 3 or 4, I can dance around the table because it's pretty much rare. It's rarer than a 20 on a D20. So in GURPS, when you score critical success or failure, you can cheer about it. It's really it's more rare. So contest of skills it's really like what it sounds. So in this case, I could draw a little something here. Just give me 1 second. So I had my guard. There you go. So I have a stealth of 14. Again, I am an expert, and the guard here have a 12 in perception. The contest is an opposition check that you roll against somebody who is actively or passively opposing you, and you compare the result. So in this case, my guy will roll a magnificent 7. So I roll 7. So it's a success by 7. It's enormous. And then the guard will try to passively see me. He's not aware of my existence. You roll a 9. So this is a success, but by 3. So a quick equation give you the result. My thief succeeded at stealthing the guard with a margin of success of 4. A very much better roll than earlier. So there you go. This is the basic resolution mechanics in GURPS. I hope you enjoy it and you will try it.